we finna jump into it. Another State Dangerous podcast. Let's go. Yo, if you're tuning in, I appreciate you. Make sure you always like, subscribe, comment, and share. Again, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share. This is the Stay Dangerous podcast. And I'm rolling solo tonight. Get my Palo Santo to burning. Clear all this negative energy out of this room before we get started. Like to thank everybody that's always tuning in. Shouts out to constant viewers, consistent viewers. People like Cretia, Nigeria. Appreciate all y'all. Shouts out to my boy Stacy. Shouts out to my boy Smurf. Shouts out to my cousin, Miss Sunshine. Make sure you always supporting black businesses. So if you need beats like the one you heard when we just started, go to dj912beats.com. That's dj9-12beats.com. And you can see me posting new beats every week. If you want to go to, if you want to see me create these beats live, Super Saturdays, every Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, YouTube. I will be on there cooking up beats live. I made the beat that you heard earlier. And I made another one with the weekend type vibe yesterday. It's up on YouTube. Make sure you go check it out. And if you need engineering, need studio to recording, hit me up. But make sure you give me time to set it up. So book in advance. Please book in advance. Deposit is required to lock in that time. Other than that, we're going to keep pushing on. We're going to keep moving about what we doing. You did. So now let's jump into it, man. As you can see, I'm here tonight by myself, a little solo, but it is what it is. We're going to keep this show rolling. We're going to keep going. So two things I want to talk about. One is the little incident we had in my little hometown yesterday. With we gonna call him the cutter. We gonna call him the cutter, man. And so, had a guy on the loose yesterday in Vidalia, Georgia, to 30474. Was it yesterday? Was it Sunday? Was it Friday night? If I'm not mistaken, it's Friday night. It was Friday night. Yep, Friday night. Anyway, he had a guy seems to be randomly going around stabbing people. He was apprehended and caught by the Vidalia Police Department. And the question that everybody's asking is why? When stuff goes on like that, a lot of people ask why would somebody do that? That's just crazy. This, that, and the third. And I'm glad he was caught. I don't know if anybody was hurt, but I hope if they were, speedy recovery to them. All 3 counts aggravated assault, 4 counts obstruction of the law. At this time, Howard is in custody for 3 counts of aggravated assault and 4 counts of obstruction of law officers. Seemed that Vidalia needed to go get the help from surrounding county in Soperton, Georgia, to bring them dogs in. But just a little short story, man. I remember being a correctional officer in my little short period of time, and a little time that I served as a correctional officer, and this dude just kept coming back, and he was coming back to prison, so it was kind of relatively fast. And everybody asked him why he keep coming back, and the number one reason was he ain't have nowhere else to go. He know at least if he go to prison, he can get 4 hots in a cot. So it wasn't, well, 3 hots in a cot. So it wasn't necessarily that he wanted to come to prison. He just felt like that was his only choice. So we do have those type of people out there. Support your loved ones, man. It's a dangerous world we live in. You never know what they do to get to where they're going. But let's jump straight into it, man. Let's talk about this this transgender. Let me get the name right real quick. Is it Lewis? Oh, Lia Thomas. Lia Thomas. So over the weekend, I guess it was real heavy last week. A transgender guy competed in an NCAA tournament of a swimming competition. Now, this guy placed first. And the question tonight is, should transgender women be allowed to play in women's sports? And it's a few reasons that I have off the top of my head. I'm going to go over them, and then we're going to get up out of here. But number one reason, man, the number one thing that I see wrong with this, you're not physically a woman. You can think you're a woman, but you're not physically a woman. And this is no diss. Go ahead and put my disclaimer out before y'all start bashing me. This is no diss to anybody that's transgender or otherwise. Whatever you feel like your sexuality is, what we talking about today is fairness, right? And we need to understand what fairness is. So fairness is men playing in men's sports and women playing in women's sports. There's no difference in between that. We're in a new era to where it's very sensitive to talk about these subjects, but they need to be talked about because that's the only way we can resolve the issues. Now, with that being said, we can't keep dissing women the way we doing. Our culture has been known for dissing women since the beginning of time, the American culture anyway, but can't keep dissing women and disregarding women like they're not humans. And I'm saying that to say it took a lot for women to get equality. It took a lot for women to get voting rights. It took a lot for women to get equal pay, and they're still not getting equal pay. Hence another situation that's going on in the news with Brittany Garner, the WNBA basketball player, while she's in Russia playing basketball overseas. And that's to make more money. So, in all fairness, it's just wrong, right? And number one, it's wrong because physically it's wrong. Men are built different than women. Scientifically proven. Go do your research. We're naturally stronger. We're naturally faster. I think our lung capacity is even bigger. Our lung capacity as men is more than women's, if I'm not mistaken. Scientifically proven. So, if all that being said, why can somebody jump up and say, hey, I'm a transgender, I should be competing in women's sports? Now, that's just on the basic level. Now, let's talk about this Lia Thomas situation. So, Lia Thomas was a dude who transitioned into a woman, right? And I don't know what his name was before he transitioned, but let's just say Thomas, right? When he was a man, he was ranked number 462 in the NCAA. 462. He went from 462 as a man to becoming a transgender and placing number one over an Olympic medalist, and the second place winner of that event. And her name was, I just seen her name. What is her name? Oh. First national title. Who was the second place? I don't see her name no more. Oh, I can't even pronounce that shit. Weant. I guess that's her name. Weant is her last name. Anyway, let's just put it like this. Weant was a Olympic medalist. She placed second to Lia Thomas, which placed first, and the height difference itself up front is crazy. The height difference is dramatic, and you can see it in the pictures. Like, I don't know what the height difference is, but looking at the pictures in itself, I just don't even understand why that is even legal. And it just looks absolutely crazy to me. But let's get back to the physicality, right? If genetically some men can be stronger than women off just for being born, right? How is it right for another woman to lose to a dude that wants to be a woman? It's a very touchy subject. If the language is wrong, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just trying to walk through it, right? So how can you comfortably take a title from a female like that? Like I said, it's to me, it's strictly about male versus female. That's all it boils down to. I don't understand why the NCAA or other people haven't stepped in and just made a different league for them. It'll be better if it's a different league for transgender women, transgender men, or like whatever, however they decide to break it down. In all fairness, that would be a greater cause. I mean, because if that was the case, we wouldn't have had a movie back in the day like Juwanna Mann. Juwanna Mann showed y'all up front what it would be like. So Juwanna Mann in itself was a movie about a dude that wanted to play basketball so bad that he went and outfitted and dressed as a woman the whole time and acted like a woman, but was dominating the league and doing things that women hadn't at that time did yet, right? So with that being said, like, if the movie's already telling us what's going on and what's happening, why didn't we already go ahead and get this established sooner? Because we knew the day was going to come, or they knew the day was going to come. Whoever knew the day was going to come, the shit happened, right? So why not just say, look, you can't compete in this women's sport, whatever. You can't compete in this sport as a transgender anything. But you can compete in this sport as in a different league on its own. So we got women competing against women and men competing against men. All fairness, it just is what it is. If you want to be a trans woman competing in a league, then you should be competing in a league of your own, so to speak. And I think it's just all fair because women in this country have been fighting for years to get some type of equality. And in one fell swoop, a blink of an eye, now a man can say, hey, I'm not good enough as a man, but I can transition into a woman and beat any woman in the swimming pool, on a basketball court, wherever. You know what I'm saying? Just naturally. You know what I'm saying? A woman's body is going to have to work 3 to 4 times as harder in order for him or her damn, I'm getting confused. A woman is going to have to work 3 times as harder in order for her to be as strong as a man, as fast as a man in some cases. I'm not saying all cases, in some cases. And this is not a blanket topic. So all these things I'm not making blanket statements. What I'm saying is case by case basis is going to be very different. But from an overall aspect of it, Men are just naturally stronger. Men are just naturally faster. I feel like women are naturally smarter, but they've been getting the short end of the stick for a long time. So it is what it is. We all have opinions. It's an opinion-based world, right? So what makes it fair, or what makes it right for a man to say, I want to become a woman and transition into this sport and just keep on and go dominate this sport as a woman. Now people can argue and say that, well, if they think that they're a woman and they'll become a woman, but genetically it's not the same. Like, the bones aren't the same. The physicality is going to be totally different. Let me see. That ain't what I wanted to do. Is it gonna let me? It's not gonna let me do it. So right now on the screen, y'all should be able to see the height difference alone between these three athletes. And like, come on, man. What does that do? Like 6'4" or something? That's crazy. I want to see the height difference. I don't know if it's gonna let me pull the height difference. Let me see. Six one. Lia Thomas height, Google says is 6'1". Other sites are saying 5'8". I don't believe that. I'm 6'2.5", 6'3", whatever. Ain't no way that's 5'8", towering over another female like that. But we got to have fair competition, man. We got to have fair competition. We got to have fair everything. Like, if we ban people from sport leagues for using performance enhancement drugs, then is it not performance enhancement when a man is physically stronger than a woman? There's got to be some type of there should be some type of rule or something, that in itself alone, right? Because if a woman, again, just based on strength wise, that's a performance enhancement in itself, because you're a man, right? If y'all can kick people out of sports for taking for smoking weed, which is almost legal now, why can't you kick them out for that? And that's just, I don't know, that shit just crazy. If y'all got some comments, just drop them in the comment section. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share. And my pure question for this, again, is why don't we have simply a different league for transgender athletes so they can compete there and it'd be equal? It might be harder to start a league, but I don't think if the right players involved, the right teams, the right colleges, the right influencers, I don't think it's that hard. And if we fighting for equal rights for everybody, where is the equality at? There's no equality in that at all for a transgender to be. It shouldn't. That shit ain't right. That shit ain't right on no level. I wonder if he's the only one, because it's saying the first transgender athlete to win Division I national championship. So is it other transgender collegiate athletes? First thing that came up was Bruce Jenner, but he transitioned after he won all his in his male category. Um, his Olympic titles and stuff like that. He won all that prior to becoming Caitlyn. And then if transgender women can compete in women's sports, why haven't any transgender women or women that transform themselves into a man compete in men's sports? They would never allow that to happen. So why would you allow it to happen the other way? I hate we have to use all these political terms and make the conversation confusing and shit too. Um, mm, that's a deep article. Then you thinking about the levels of these 31 athletes have competed openly in college. So it's more. I guess since Leah Thomas won, it's the first one with the biggest hoorah about it, the biggest fuss. Maybe, I guess. George Washington University was the first college basketball player to come out publicly as a transgender, as a trans man on the women's basketball team in Division I in 2010. Came before the NCAA had announced its trans athlete policy. So what's the policy if the NCAA got a policy already? So another dude another man transitioned into a woman. So a trans man competed in women's basketball, but a policy got put in place. G. Ryan said Big Ten 500 freestyle for Wolverines women's swimming team, also earning NCAA's championship berths. Hmm. I wonder what their policy was. Let's look up what their policy was. NCAA had a policy. Committed to creating and supporting an inclusive culture that the policy works around two sticking points for many people, allowing trans female athletes to compete as women and allowing trans male athletes taking testosterone to compete against other men. According to NCLR, the policy offers these guidelines. A transgender male student athlete who has a medical exemption for testosterone hormone therapy may compete on a men's team, but is no longer eligible to compete on a women's team without changing the team's status to a mixed team. Oh, that's stupid. A transgender female student athlete who has taken medication that suppresses testosterone for a year may compete on a woman's team. That's stupid because you injecting testosterone is not natural testosterone. So will the testosterone last in your system? That's what that other article was saying that I didn't read because it was long. So that's the first question. With testosterone in a female, if a transgender male student athlete who has medical for testosterone hormone therapy but is no longer eligible to compete in women's sports. So if a woman is taking testosterone because she's transitioning to be a man, if she's taking testosterone, she can't play in women's sports any longer. She has to play and compete in men's sports. But the testosterone may not last as long or be as effective in her body as it would be a man. Men, if we take testosterone boosters, we get all kind of different side effects, but different like aggression and help and stuff like that in our body. Low testosterone is also for a reason for male impotency to a degree. A transgender female student athlete who has taken medication to suppress testosterone for a year can compete on a woman. So a man that's transitioning to a female can take medication that suppresses testosterone and then they can compete in a female sport. That is wrong as shit. Why is it only chemical though? Those are the two main points that is given, right? But we also have different. Just because you don't have testosterone in your body doesn't mean as a man you're not you're still not as strong. That doesn't change the chemical makeup of your body. That literally makes no sense whatsoever at all. So as a man, I can take something that will suppress my testosterone for a complete year and then be considered a female or be able to compete in female sports. That is oddly weird. But those are the so-called rules. So my question is to everybody, you know what I'm saying? What do y'all think should happen? I believe they would full single out if they had a league. It's like they wouldn't be acknowledged for what they identify with. You wouldn't be acknowledged for what you identify with. What's up, Miss Erica? So identifying with a gender makes you that gender? That would be my question. So if you identify as a gender, that automatically makes you that gender. So that kind of disregards the chemical makeup of anybody or the natural thing that you was born with that made you male or female, and not just not just your physical parts or components. There are other components and physicalities that make you a woman and that makes men men. So like, no, they don't get. We're letting people rewrite history and thoughts based on a feeling or emotion. Prior to this, we've always used feeling. I mean, we've always used uh, knowledge or hardcore evidence to change something, right? If we know certain things are wrong, right? The Me Too movement, everything was the knowledge was wrong within the whole culture of people being looked down upon because or forced into certain situations, right? We learned from that. Hopefully, we've learned from that. But that's based on something physical, something tangible. We're now saying that based on your thought process, we have to conform and bend to it. I don't think that's right. You can want to be a tree all day, but if I don't see you as a tree, then I can't say you're a tree. A tree is a tree based on a tree. A tree doesn't say I'm a dog and we go acknowledge a tree as a dog. That shit don't happen. You call us crazy. If your dog acts like a cat, you're gonna say something's wrong with my dog. That's not right. Stacy will probably be able to break that shit down better, but that's just my thought process in it. And I'm not trying to be very offensive. I'm just trying to walk and tread lightly and talk about something that's happening in the world that we can't keep let happening. And that's changing rules based on just this logic that if I feel like I'm a woman, then I'm a woman. You're not a woman. You're discrediting women around the world. I mean, that's just it. Women in American society and other countries as well, but I'm strictly speaking on our society as Americans. We traditionally just look down so hard on women or not give women access to certain things based upon because they're women. I mean, even I can go into it biblically as well and show you how the Bible looks down on women as well. But we ain't gonna get that deep. We just talking about surface level stuff. And if we allow people to parade around as something that they're not, and then take control of that aspect of it, you kind of discrediting women altogether. You're saying it takes nothing to be a woman other than a thought. It takes more to be a woman than a thought. Women shouldn't have to feel like they have to keep fighting on every aspect or every board that they play on, whether it's in sports, whether it's in shit, getting equal pay for movies, things of that nature, getting equal pay for just random, regular, everyday services. Women have to fight for that all the time. A transgender woman just gonna come and just take over and dominate a sport because I think I'm a woman? No. That shouldn't happen. And again, I'm not trying to discredit anybody that feel that way or wants to be trans or whatever you want to do. That's your business. But you can't come stomp on somebody else because you just saying, oh, I feel like I want to be this, and you're not. This doesn't make your thought process, a woman's thought process, I think I'm a man, doesn't make her a man. She can't physically just off and whoop a man's behind just because she thinks she can. Some women can. We've seen that shit, right? But at the end of the day, a lot of women can't naturally. You know what I mean? I just feel like we discrediting women as a whole at this point by doing such things, by allowing men to just say, ooh, I think I'm a woman, and become number one in that sport. How would I feel if a trans woman dominated a male sport? I don't think it would happen. I truly don't think they would let it happen. I mean, because how many trans women do you see playing football? I think some have tried. I don't think none successfully have done it. Like, that's a different game. Even when it comes to basketball, what woman can compete against LeBron James and dominate the way LeBron James does? It's not going to happen. Even if you take somebody smaller like a Allen Iverson or a Kyrie Irving, people like that, it's not going to happen. Even though they're shorter in stature and you can put a woman up the same size, weight, whatever, Kyrie's probably going to be a little bit faster, a little bit more aggressively stronger, and he's going to play the game that much more aggressively. Nah, I don't see them letting that happen. Would you feel men would be distracted if the same thing happened? I think so. A lot of men fold around gay people. I mean, look at the gay guy that I hate to say it like that, but look at the guy that played they got drafted number 1 to the Lions, I think. I can't remember his name. He was a defensive end. He came out as gay in the league. You ain't heard nothing about him since. I don't know if he's still playing or not, because I don't watch sports that heavy that often, but you don't hear him. You don't hear him talk about him, whether he was a effective player or not. I just don't see that happening. And to me personally, I just feel like it's another stunt pull for white men to take control over something. Just simple as that. I just think it's another stunt to pull that white men gonna do and get away with it for a little while before women just step up and they're not taking it no more or won't play with them. I think that should be the aspect. You can be respected as a transgender in your own league and dominating that league, if that's what you want to do. But you can't take on the title of something that you're not. As much as I love computers, I can't walk around saying I'm a computer. It's just not going to happen. It doesn't make sense. Now, if you want to be a transgender woman, do that. Be as it may, whatever you want to do it. But how do you respect how can you say I'm a transgender woman and then disrespect the womanhood of what women have to go through to get to where they're going? You're literally disrespecting women by doing that. You're walking all over them. You're walking all over everything they had to fight for to get to where they're going. And people gonna probably argue about that and say trans people go through this and trans people go through that and they gotta fight for equal rights and equal this and equal that. Which is cool, right? But you still ain't have to fight like that woman had to fight. Like, how do you justify that? How do you say you're for womanhood or sisterhood? Excuse me. How are you gonna say you for womanhood or sisterhood and then slap it in the face at the same time? It doesn't happen. It's like saying you love your wife and they go cheat on her. You don't love her enough. You're being very disrespectful up front. Nah, don't do that. If you want to be a transgender woman, and I think the best way to honor women and respect them and vice versa is they should have their own league. They should have their own outlets. It's the only way to make it equal. for the woman to still have her place. You know what I'm saying? And they still fighting for equal pay in, like I said, sports. They're still fighting for equal pay in the movie industry. I've heard some chants about it in music as well. But I mean, it's crazy. Like, if you respect women enough to say I want to become one, then respect everything that it is that a woman is and that a trans woman could never be. Just because you can change a body part doesn't make you female. It doesn't work like that. But that's all I got on that topic for the night, man. I'm finna get up out of here. I'm finna go to enjoy the rest of my day. Finna get on some 2K. Thank you, Miss Erica, for your comments. The fuck? If you like the stream, hit the like button. If you want to have more conversation in the stream, just drop it and we'll get back to it. Share. We'll be back next week, 7 p.m. Same bat time, same bat channel with another stream to have a conversation about what's going on in the wizard. Again, if you need beats, holla at me. www.dj912beats.com. Live stream Super Saturdays every Saturday at 7 p.m. And go check out that sound kit I dropped if you're in the music thing. Other than that, y'all have a good one.